That's quite enough of that. Hello! Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello. Discord allowed me to mute Dark this time. If anybody happened to catch that 7-second VOD of Dark going, ah, then apologies.
I am too powerful.
Dark's new mic is too powerful. Not even Discord can stop me now. Hi. Stream got off to a weird start.
It's only going to get weirder from here.
Absolutely, yes.
Ford. Yeah.
Ford!
You're gonna hear that a lot.
It's good, yeah.
Just remember Ford.
Just
Question
remember.
mark?
So that's where we will begin. We will begin with just Ford. Just like someone shrugging the. There we go. This is basically what you can expect from the next 2 hours. Actually, should I draw Ford? This is Ford. It's got a beard, right?
I think so. Honestly, can't remember much about what Ford looks like.
And therein lies the issue, right? So...
I think I have
old man with a
accurately
beard.
described him multiple times as the least important, most important character in the game.
Yeah.
He's just an old man with a beard in a military uniform with some random bits of stuff on.
He is entirely he's the most important character in the game and also completely removable. His
And I think the first time you meet him, his hair isn't quite in sync with his body. With the
wonderful.
I think that was the thing because they fixed it when you meet him again.
Yeah, that was Oh no,
I
there was
don't
that
think I've ever noticed that, but
there was a weird lighting bug, wasn't there, where his like beard was much brighter than the rest of him when it was in dark lighting.
That was the thing. Also, his inability to look at one player at a time and constantly swap if there's multiple people.
It doesn't matter.
No one else has that issue.
Look, it doesn't matter that you're the one talking to him. I'm the most important person in the room, I'll have you know. So he's going to keep looking at me. Yeah, the gun that's bobbing up and down in the distance. So, okay, explanation. What are we doing here? We're not criticizing car brands. We are doing a Fools AU, i.e. a complete rewrite of Remnant from the Ashes, a game that we played on Darkstream. It's a good time, I do recommend, but its story is mostly holes. I think that's probably the right way of describing it. It's there's some substance there that is worth trying to salvage, but it's just almost... It's kind of fractal-like in its incompetence. The closer you look, the worse it gets.
It's there, but you can miss literally all of it, as we just discussed.
There is a lot of good lore and story there, but the amount you have to dig and the amount that you have to replay to find everything is not worth it.
So where do we begin?
At the beginning, presumably?
This is just
You're
for
on
my
a
personal satisfaction.
You start on a boat.
You do start on a boat.
That's the thing. You start on a boat with some random prophetic stuff, which has no context unless you've played the previous game. And
That's
then
an
you're
issue.
randomly there. You have a big heroic moment, and then you're in a ward randomly, and that's it. That's all the context you get.
Yeah. It's
And there's a load of leads which they never did anything with. Like the kid you can talk to, he was going to be a dreamer. They scrapped that idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why he's got weird dreams and stuff. He could be a dreamer. That was going to be one of the things, but they scrapped that.
That's why he has some dialogue in the beginning of the game,
Yes.
and then is never mentioned again.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, dead
Yeah.
ends in development for game design and stuff like that. That's fine.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like he beats a dream, he replaces the other one, like help you beat the root sort of thing, which would have been cool and everything. But yeah, they got that. So,
You know, it's like Andre in Dark Souls was supposed to be like related to Gwyn, and you know the fact that there are like these sort of statues of Andre like people all around is a significant
Yeah.
thing. But in the end, he's he's just blacksmith.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. But the thing is, at no point in Dark Souls do you go, "What's up with that blacksmith?" You know, because you're not lacking other things to think about,
no, you just
as you are in Remnant.
Yeah, you see Andrew and you're like, you are swole and really cool. Bye. I have other stuff to do. That's it.
It's
And then they draw him
nobody
back for
in
free because people
Remnant
love him
is
so much.
really important. Like, or at least like, definitely nobody in the ward. Even though
There are a lot of characters in the ward, and none of them seem to do anything. And even when
no,
you do something that they should, by the very little that there is to define their character, something that you introduce that should have an impact, like the root mother and all that sort of stuff, nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, why even bother
Or
having that
Ford.
characterization at
First
all?
time
Or
they
Ford, yeah.
react when they search for the first time. They react when you do stuff on Earth if you go and talk to them, but only once. But they completely look over the root mother appearing. They completely look over when Ford coming back. There's not even new dialogue with his granddaughter, which you think
Yes.
there would be.
you
Ford
remember
knows that the
your
root mother.
grandpa that
Ford knows
you
that the root
think
mother
died?
is his wife, but he doesn't even comment on it.
Yeah, you had to tell me that. I played through the game twice, and you had to tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows it is his wife because in like journals and stuff it points to it. But yeah, he says nothing about it. I can get the root mother not talking to the granddaughter to say, "Oh, is the granddaughter?" Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I can get the root mother not talking to anyone because they're kind of not really the same person anymore, sort of. There's memories going on, it's all a bit weird. I can get them not going out of their way to, talk to the other people.
yeah, because like for the granddaughter, that would be a huge thing. Like, oh, by the way, I'm your grandmother you thought was dead all that time ago. Hi. Like,
Hey, how's it going?
okay. Wait, how old are you now then? Because I have grey hair.
Yes, but you weren't part of a tree for a while. Does wonders for
Yeah,
your
it's
skin.
like yeah, it's like you say. I understand the root mother not like talking to people, but Ford has no excuse.
Ford comes across as the
He's
sort of
just
person.
there now, and nobody cares.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to take one absurdity and use it as to excuse another one, you could take the fact that he's been in prison for 200 years. He's lost the ability to talk to people. he's just
I mean,
he's
talks
just become
to us.
he's just become incredibly socially awkward.
Yeah. Also, how the point of like just how old Ford actually is because of the weird time dilation stuff from all the different worlds and the not dying properly and all that stuff. All the things. Why does he come back? We have a reason as a character because we have a dragon heart. What does he have? Is it just using
Plot
the pull?
armor.
Does that just do that to people?
See
Who
the
knows?
screen. Look at the screen. There's your answer.
Also, there's the point. Dragon heart.
yeah.
Here, friend, I have this random trinket that's this incredibly powerful thing that can stave off death. Possibly also makes you immortal and unable to die. Here, have this. You need it. Like, thank you.
It's
Where did
fine.
you find
We met
where
10
did you find
seconds
this?
ago.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
Kirsty.
it's just, where did you find this?
Making a cup of tea took a while. We basically just complained for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Darkbrook Discord. Other than that,
Like, the Dragonheart is the thing from the first one, which is the only explanation I can think of. It somehow got over there.
they
Because
needed.
it's literally a dragon's heart.
Yeah. It feels like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I don't want to keep saying the words Dark Souls, but I'm gonna.
It's
so
very
tough.
comparable.
It's very comparative. It clearly takes a lot of inspiration from it because the dragon heart is Estus basically. But the thing is, in Estus, there is no explanation as to what the hell Estus is. It's just it's a drink that undead people like. Yay! And you get it from another person who's just like, hey, I'm dying, have this. And it's like, that's all you need. But by aggrandizing it, by saying, oh, it's a dragon heart, it's the heart of a great dragon, and it can make you immortal for reasons unknown, it's like you're going to start having questions. It's like, oh, there's...
Also just...
fluorescent orange soup, whatever, it's fine. We're in a weird world. This one is like an actual, some sort of weird heirloom, and you just give it to me for no particular reason?
It's really the difference between someone giving you some bread to, like, heal yourself and someone giving you, like, the most important artifact in the world.
Yeah, Christy's got
it's
it.
the problem, because in Chronos, it's like the end objective. You kill like a root dragon and rip out its heart.
Oh, it's New Game Plus, got it. Remnant is New Game Plus.
Uh,
Yeah, so why is he randomly got it? They could have done literally anything else. Hell,
Yeah,
it could have been like, I don't know, a parasite or something, not just a dragon heart.
It could have just been like...
Could have been some bread.
It could have just been...
it was like a root curse, and that's the point we're trying to do this, to try and like uncurse ourselves. That probably I would have completely gone, oh yeah, that makes sense, whatever, let's continue onwards. But because it's a big dragon fancy heart, ugh.
Do you know something? The way this could have been solved is by you turning up to this place with a locked box, which you can't get into, and you arrive, and somebody's like, "Oh, I can pick that lock for you," and then opens it. And it's like, "What the hell's this thing inside? Why are you carrying this around?" So it's not like some random person just gives it to you. It's just you've got it. You got it from a mysterious place sometime in your past, and that's part of your curse or something. Like that's an easy way to sort of solve that. Someone else gives it to you by just unlocking the box that you've been carrying around. Something like that, Just it remains a mystery, but it also remains a mystery that nobody around here is really, capable of solving, because it's a thing from your character's past, and your character is mysterious, and so on and so forth. I'm fine with not knowing as much about your character, if that makes sense. It's everyone else that's the problem. And that's how the Doctor got their TARDIS. Yeah, they found a dragon heart in a box. Hi, miss. It's not far off, actually. Let's not get into Doctor Who. I'll be here for ages. Right. Yep. So, let's have some sort of semblance of structure as us complaining about this for two hours.
Yeah, okay.
What... That's the end of question. No. The objective of the game is what? The objective of the player entering into the game is what? How does that evolve? How does it change over time? How is it achieved? And how is it satisfying? Boom. The rest of the lore, we'll get back to that and ask how that integrates with the rest of it. But for now, this is a game with a story. What is that story?
I mean, in the game, initially, you want to get to... what's the place? To the big tower, the other ward.
Get to Dragon's Atoll. That doesn't work. You're told Ford knows about these things, of course. Go find Ford. And
he's
then
dead, probably.
Ford, and then you go to the Atoll, and that's it.
Go find this dead person.
That is the extent of the plot. It's so open-ended, which is fine, because it's like just going trekking across places, and you kind of lead from clue to clue to clue.
Wait, it's not a lighthouse, is it? I've drawn it as a lighthouse. This is Bioshock now.
I think it's a lighthouse.
Is that a lighthouse?
It looks like a lighthouse.
It's a big tower on like an end. I think it's disguised as a lighthouse. I think that's the thing, because there's a big secret military base underneath it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember which ward number. I only remember that it's 2 ward numbers for some reason.
17.
Oh yeah, it changes as you go through, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's either they forgot to change the number, or it's that the first ward is technically trying to hide the second ward.
Well, it's
Uh,
doing a good job. Like if you're gonna hide a ward, you might as well hide it behind the one with the next number. I can't possibly find Ward 18. Where could Ward
I
18
think
be?
it's
I've been to Ward 17 and they say it's not next to it. So I'm gonna have to look somewhere else, I guess.
Yes. So you try to find the atoll. There's a massive storm. You end up crashed on the beach. You fight some stuff.
Massive
You
storm.
try to save the guy. You end up dying. They're like, "Oh, go get Ford."
No.
I think it's go get Ford.
18.
You're not explicitly told though. Go find Ford. You're just told Ford will probably know where it is.
Yeah, you're not explicitly told like he has a key to it or anything like that. It's just you're basically somebody points in a direction and vaguely mumbles the word Ford, and you're kind of left. I don't even think they
Yeah.
explain that he's gone in that direction. I think by virtue of you picking up a note in the first area, you know that he was around there somewhere.
Yeah, no. What is it? All you're told is that Ford was looking into the route, and because you want to destroy the route, so that all adds up fine. Go through the gate to get back to Earth, so we can get out again. And he had a secret base somewhere on Earth. It just, I suppose, it makes sense that it is right by the stone, because he would use that to get in and out. But yeah, that's it. And then there's all the stuff, and then you find the clues, and you go through. And you're told about a dragon for so long, but it might not even be the dragon you fight. The dragon is mentioned a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, on Earth, it's a lot of the like notes and stuff around the place. Ones that like are pre-generated. It's like the journals from the root mother and stuff. She says about the dragon and everything.
All right. Game, go get Ford. Hi, Oobs.
Hi, Oops.
Oh,
Yeah, it.
Okay, so how do we fix this? This is the biggest problem with the game, is that the direction is vague and then you forget about it and then it comes up again at the end in an unsatisfying way.
Yeah.
We need to. That's
You kind of forget your goal because your goal for like 80% of the game is find Ford.
do you Ford get?
yeah. Your grand goal is find Ford. You're given the tiniest bit of information on Earth, like my granddad's putting things there. Go find it. But bar searching for the tower in the first thing, that's it. That they're just like, oh, I need to find the tower. Search for the tower, and then you get to.
Yeah,
That's it.
Oobs legit still don't know what the plot was. That's exactly the point. That's why we're here. Because it's not. Because it's terrible,
it's
and we
not.
need to rewrite it.
Rom. You get to Rom after you find the tower,
Who's
and
Rom?
the gate guardian who is absolutely useless and just talks in random higgledy-piggledy, like, "Oh yes, I'm the protector." And,
Oh, that guy. Yes.
Yes, I'm the protector and the great devourer, and I can't leave this seat because I'm too comfortable and I don't want to do anything. I'm holding together reality,
He's
don't
got
you
a
know?
pad, doesn't
Look
he?
how important I am and all these statues of me. Ta-ta! And then you go to Rom, and there's some random woman on the floor, and she says, "Go talk to the Undying King, because he's just like you." And then you find the Undying King, and you either kill him and go straight to. I can't remember the name of the place, but then you go straight to Swampland.
Corsus.
Yes, Corsus, that's it. No, you go.
Corsus, forgot about it.
By agreeing with him, or you go straight to. I cannot remember the world of the fuzzies.
Avatarland.
Yes.
Pandora.
Fuzzies.
Pandora, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Pandora, and then you complete the game. And then there's
It's not called
because you didn't
Pandora.
actually win in the first game. You have to go and like go to an ice planet to find stuff. And then there's even more questions, but we'll ignore that for now. But that's the
Also,
plot.
there's a dragon at some point. No, that one is only there if you play with me.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
just
only fight
get
dragon.
to Rom, told about King, get to King, find King. King says, you helped me, and I'll let you through, or you don't and you kill him. But Yeah.
Do you
So
think?
say you do the normal thing and you follow him and you go to Pandora, not Pandora, Corsus, and then there's nothing, and you're wandering around, and then you eventually find the Queen, and she's like, get me the heart instead, and like,
I was going to put
why?
music on.
Oh, for no reason at all. Maniacal laughter.
Sorry.
And yeah, then you go from Pandora, where there's absolutely no explanation, and you just kind of wander through until you find Ford.
Yeah.
And then he tells you to go back to the ward.
Yeah.
To a room
Then you
that...
open a mirror and you
Yeah.
find the thing.
To a room that, unless you've explored previously, you would know nothing about.
Yeah.
And even if you do know about it, you can still miss it because he's so vague in his instruction.
Tangible
Because you
goal
could
with
just
like
not
specific
the mirror.
sub-goals is what's...
Yaisha. Sorry, I just looked it up. The planet's called Yaisha,
Yeah.
which is obviously, you know, it's just, you know, burned into my brain, such a memorable.
But yeah, that is the exact quest chain and it is as vague as can be, really, because on 2 of the planets you're not even really given anything to go by. Of course, it's halfway through when you meet the Queen, and Yeisha, it's again halfway through. But so yeah, how to fit.
What would be a better goal, or how? Because that's the main.
Also, I
What?
said was my teleporter and killed Chris for no reason.
Still love that.
Oh,
I was doing perfectly fine up until that point, and then I just died in a teleporter.
I know, that was so funny because all we saw was you in the cutscene just drop onto the floor.
Yeah, it teleported my dead body. That was quite funny.
I don't know why it did that.
Like a
Oh.
tangible goal with specific sub-goals is what's missing, yeah. They tried to give you little things to keep you interested as they go along, like the siege. I'll protect these new people who you've never met and don't know why you're protecting. And
But that in line is that in turn is one of the problems because you could completely miss. Hello?
Eh?
Okay.
Ah.
Eh?
The.
Anyway,
Dark has melted. Well, next week we will be joined by somebody else. No, what's going on?
was that me dying? Or...
No, you were just making weird noises.
Oh, I heard someone disappear. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I disappeared because I thought my Discord stopped working because I couldn't hear anything.
Oh no, that's just Dark. He's infected Discord at this point.
Yeah.
He's like
But yeah,
Agent Smith. He's...
The problem is the random aspect. You could never meet any of the other NPCs in the world.
I guess at that point we have to start thinking, okay, what story can survive a randomly generated world? Presumably the story has to be told explicitly through the beginning of the world and the ending of the world, because they're the only bits that are fixed, right?
Yeah, the only thing would be adding like certain fixed things.
I mean, you already have like, the beginning of the world and the ending of the world, and you have the Undying King.
I feel like that should be more of a
the-
thing as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was one of the
all the
things I had
characters- a
had
lot
in
of
my
the
notes.
characters are just-
Why is the Undying King so lame?
Yeah.
I wonder why Labyrinth person is also lame. I thought they were going to come back as well. They're lame, like they exist purely in cutscene. At least the Undying King has a boss fight. Did it work? Did you finally send Dark to timeout? Not yet, not this time.
The Undying King could have done, was just a lot of more fleshing out.
Oh, make the random thing a more notable aspect in the game lore. There's an idea. So the idea that the world is different every time you visit it is actually something in the story.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like
That might be
wibbly,
nice.
wibbly-wimey, timey-wimey nonsense.
I mean, it could even just be the fact that the goal you're looking for is randomly placed in the planet. The planets are big, turns out, and you might just have to have a different route from where you started to where you end in order to get to it. It could be very simple, but you know, simple is better than don't worry about it. I love I know you were just trying to write acknowledged, but the extra W in there makes it feel like a portmanteau of acknowledged and awkward, which is perfect. Acknowledged. You've got the wibbly wobbly. There's plenty of wibbly wobbly. Okay. So if we were to say the primary objective of this game is to try and find a person called Ford. We don't know why at the start. Maybe we learn a little bit more as things go on about why this person is important and what they've done, and I don't know, maybe something they might need that we could find on the way. Just some way of reinforcing the notion that this is a goal that is being built towards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only interaction you've got with Ford beforehand is the notes in the beginning bit, and when you get to the Nexus, because you can read his notes around the place, just describing the places, and get a sense he's the same sort of in the same sort of situation as the player, in that he can't die, and is very confused about that fact.
Yeah, there's a difference between being immortal and being stupid, though, and it's that's the problem. The immortality's not an issue, not for me anyway. Oh, don't worry, Eves. I'm not mocking the poor spelling. I just liked it. It looked like a portmanteau that I liked. I was
Need
complimenting the
specific
serendipity.
To complete the game, and items are randomly generated.
I mean, you could still have, because what are the specific plot beats of the game at this point? Like, ignoring things that crop up randomly. It's you get to the ward and you're told and or read, hey, Ford's a thing. Should probably do something to do with that, to do whatever you want to do, going to this tower. Because it's kind of like it's kind of like an oddly sandwiched timeline. We start with sort of, want tower. That's how it sort of starts. We want to go to the tower. Fantastic.
Yeah.
In order to do that, we're told find Ford, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, in order to understand that, we have to find the root mother, right? We have to learn more about that by going to the
Find Ford, read his notes. Notes say root mother in church. You go,
Notes say
okay,
root
find
mother.
church.
So we do that. We achieve that. That's great. And at that point, what does she say? We have to go to
Find the disappearing tower.
Oh yeah, disappearing.
Find the disappearing tower. Defeat the guardian beforehand.
Tower 2 plus dragon. Well, guardian.
Yeah, either warning of there will probably be a guardian or something beforehand. Yeah, be the dragon or I think she only really mentions the dragon.
And then you achieve that, and then you go into the labyrinth with Throne Dude. I'm gonna call him Shawl because he has a thing over his face. Not Shawl. Shroud. Let's call him Shroud.
Yeah. So find him, and he's just just the devourer and the root. Yeah, sure, that's the devourer. I'll use a different word. Go to the labyrinth. Go through the doors.
And then you immediately do that, and it's otherwise purposeless. And then you arrive to the place with the Undying King, and then the king says, "Hey, get me the heart of the thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, go to Colossus and bring me the Guardian's heart, because our Guardian was dead. Your world doesn't need a Guardian because it's special.
And then there's like alt heart for what's her face, the Isthmus Queen. What was her name?
The
Iskall Queen.
Iskall Queen, yeah.
Yes, who says he's just, give me the heart for no particular reason.
And that's resolved in one way or another.
Yeah.
And then we arrive at the last planet, in which nothing really happened. Like, we talked to the pan, but there's no like objective claimed. We're just going through that world because it's a level. And then we find Ford, and then we get the key. And all things considered, the fact that the most important thing is not referenced again until we actually do it at the end of the game, and the second most important thing is not referenced again until just before the end of the game, kind of makes the whole middle bit feel like filler.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Halfway through Geisha, Ford is mentioned again when you help the resistance, the fuzzies, and that's it. And even then, it's just her going, "Oh yeah, Ford got captured by the Ever Queens and all that." which are never mentioned or brought up again.
Yeah, see, by the time we got to the
Maybe-
Guardian, you already forgot why we
It-
needed the tower. This is
Yeah,
the thing.
she's there, I think, more as her just going, oh, you remember Ford, right? You're here because of Ford, yes? That's the reason you're here. It's kind of like it's enforcing that you've probably forgotten exactly why you're doing things by that point.
I'm thinking like maybe if you do like a thing of like in each world you go through there is like a thing to collect and Ford knows what to do with it so you can get to the tower.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have the key, but we can collect the things that are required to make a key or find a key or something.
Like he
And Ford
wrote
has the
down the
knowledge.
components of the key, but he never got to like actually gather the components of the key, but he knows how to make it.
Also, can we just take a little second to appreciate that the key is this tiny, crappy mechanical lock key for a computer that could easily be opened with a paperclip. Like, it would have been better if it was a floppy disk or something. At least then I don't think I could bypass it.
It like makes fancy noises and goes ding. It's like
If you look at it, it's just like a circular piece of metal that's got holes notched into it, so you can slot it into a thing and turn. Like, I'm not the best lockpicker in the world, but I know how to pick those.
Yeah, and we
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
a whole society of people who've gotten by with scrap and
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like,
Like, I'm
it's like
sure someone can pick a lock.
we're not exactly short of people who are handy with metal. Like,
True, Ace is a complete rogue who knows like how to operate a reactor. I'm pretty sure she could probably figure it out, to be fair.
I mean, I guess we did also need the key card to get into that part of the thing, but we find that really early, so that's not easily fixed, which by booby trapping the tower. That's something. It's just like there needs to be some sort of reason. I don't know.
The reason why these people don't do anything.
Even if it's just like, because the root have started taking over the tower, right? You go into there and there are roots all wrapped around the big crystal, which also doesn't do anything. We'll get back to that. Do you remember that? I always thought that was gonna be a thing.
I think it's meant to be eating the power and everything, but it never actually mentions it.
But that could be part of it. That could be like the root have literally made it impossible to get in. It's a physical impossibility because there's just too much stuff in the way.
Yeah, if
And
it was something that Ford mentions in his notes or anything, like I tried to get into the tower, but the root swarmed me, so I just had to leave it and turn it off and figure out another
Like,
way.
kind of if like the thing in the DLC before you get to like the wintry place in the lab where you have to like shoot the thing and then it activates it, like something like that.
Yeah, because Ford could not do that.
Yeah, so and so had the key and they tried entering the tower, but there were traps and they died and the key disappeared like that. Yeah, so there are ways of doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all that could have been, like,
And we know that,
nicely
that he needs, maybe he needs the heart of the monster to power a machine that can dissolve the root or break the connection between the roots themselves and the central consciousness or something. It's something that can help us get through that isn't just a small key for a computer. Like,
Yeah, having more reason for the hearts, like if you give it to either of the people, they give you like a part of the key that you need, or otherwise you have to fight them, that sort of thing.
yeah. Or like, maybe do more with the dreamers. We could have like just in the bit of the tower that's or the bit of the ward that's abandoned that's got all of these beds and stuff like that. Maybe there could just be a lot of bodies with helmets on lying down, and if you try and get through, they get up and fight you, and they're very strong. And Ford like knows how to nullify that, or even maybe they're part of the key. Maybe they are the thing that breaks down the barrier to let us in.
Yeah, well, you have that helpful kid who's meant to be a dreamer as well, so he can play into that.
And maybe like every step through the story you take, you can come back and go to that place and something different happens. Like you can learn a little bit more about who these people are and maybe start to activate something, but it doesn't quite work. Like there's just something to prove that you're taking a step forward, but you don't have quite what you need yet.
So you kind of have like, maybe not like the key, but like maybe someone like actually activates the entrance to the tower, but then you get stuck
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, I need something else. Okay.
Yeah, you
Like,
just
Let's
slowly but
go find the
surely.
root mother, I guess.
Yeah. So you slowly but surely open up the facility and find all this new and possibly incredibly horrifying stuff that happened, all the experiments and all that sort of stuff. Because
I'm also like, all these places have like some sort of weird relationship with the root. Like Earth is currently being overtaken. Rom was attacked by the roots, but then got nuked.
yeah,
So that's
the Undying King nuked his planet to stop it.
Then you have Corsus, which hasn't been attacked yet because of their guardian. And then you have Pan, and I think were they attacked by the root? I think so.
The Yasha
They have
are
some relationship
getting
with the root.
attacked by the root because there is the horrible root monster thing you fight. So it's kind of slowly slipping in.
Yeah,
But,
so you have
yeah.
like in the middle of like middle/end of root invasion because the entirety of Earth has been taken over at that point. You have the aftermath, you have beforehand, and you have in the middle of it essentially.
Yeah. And you also have the worst option, which is the Iskal, because they are a horrible parasitic thing.
Yeah,
and the queen
like
wants the heart so she can use its power so that when the root invade, she can just take them over as well.
yeah, it's
Giving her the
Corsus has
heart is
its
the worst
whole
decision you could
other
probably
thing.
make.
Yeah. So like, because of like place's location, they each have like their own parts that you can find that can help like get rid or like help to get into the tower more or whatever. Like Rom has this like big energy weapon with which you can like get things out of the way
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, using all the bits, like using some of Rom's ancient tech, using the... What would you get from Corsus? What have they got? You could just find an uninfected elf who knows how to get rid of like root stuff and deal with that sort of thing, and they
Yeah,
help
so
you through.
they have some sort of knowledge of the sort of chemical structure of the root and how to break it down or something. They can help break down the door or the masses of roots clogging the way or something like that.
And from Yasha, you could literally just get a really big, strong person that comes and helps you like in a really cool fight and just rip through a load of root stuff.
I mean, I guess from Yasha you get Ford, but
No, screw that.
Yeah.
I want giant mineral person as a friend.
I mean, do you know? Would the story be better if constantly through this we were building up? Okay, Ford. We don't know what we're doing with these things, but once we get Ford, he'll put it all together and he'll he's got the knowledge and so on and so forth. And we keep getting the stuff and we get closer and closer to where we're going, and we're like, okay, Ford's the final bit of this puzzle piece, and then we get there and he is actually dead, and we're like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then we have to
think that would help.
And then maybe
honestly.
we have to go back over and visit sort of like the key people from the story previously and like, okay, we've actually got to work together to sort this thing out because the one person who did know is now dead. What does Ford even do? He has a piece of metal. He's got a bit of metal on him.
Or we find Ford's body.
He's got a luminescent beard.
We find out that he's not dead because he can't technically die, but he keeps killing himself in prison to try and escape. So we have to track down.
He's clambering
where
up a
he's
pile
ended
of his
up.
previous body.
Yeah.
Just trying to... That's dark.
What are you? Oh. You gotta chase around Ford and try to convince him not to kill. Oh.
That's
I know. There's a lot.
dark and so funny.
You could also come across just failed expeditions to the other planets who help, flesh things out and maybe give extra information and stuff about where things are. Like you find a key researcher who's got, oh, you can now unlock this bit of the facility, that sort of thing, as extra sidey bits. Like you've got the main
Yeah.
keys and everything, and then you've got the side bits you can find. But they're like predetermined. Just extra stuff to help fill everything out.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. It would be. It also, like, if there are people in, like, other locations, it would also help this idea that, like, not everyone on Earth has given up. that they are actually doing things. Am I running up?
Oh,
And you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so what? Quick question. What's the deal with the Asia people, the Pan? Because I'm trying to think of something that they can do specifically to solve this, and the only thing that came to mind was they have like a particular song or something that can make the dreamers sort of all sort of wake and
That
work in
could be
unison
it.
with a flute.
I mean,
Because that is kind of the thing. Well, the Pan have immortality. That is one thing they do have.
Yeah, that's not helpful for anyone but them. But maybe, like, by virtue of having immortality, they have knowledge of things from a long time ago. Maybe that's what we need. Also, Frame Man's here. Hi, Frame Man. Go away. You've been watching Fatal
so
Frame
yeah,
Views.
there's the songs they've got. They've got loads of like lightning magic and teleportation and stuff. Maybe you need to use them to like, I don't know, teleport around and power things up, and
I
you've
mean,
got to
but
protect them, sort of thing.
maybe that's all interconnected. Like maybe them, like, their music is connected to that sort of knowledge of power and all those sorts of things, and that's sort of like a kind of. I don't want to jump too much into the spiritual natives with knowledge beyond I don't want to get too far
No.
into that, but like they have some sort of knowledge that is actually useful to the mechanisms through which we can defeat the root in that particular instance with the stuff. Everything was sort of half there. I think the idea is that everything was sort of half set up and ready to break through, but then it all sort of went tits up. But the constituent components can still be found. And by working together, we can break through with teamwork. But I do like with you saying like running around and teleporting and stuff. I do have this idea now of this sort of like pre-final area, sort of big event of like there's someone from Rom and someone from Corsus and some people from Yasha or whatever, and we're all working together to fight through this big wave of monsters coming through and doing our own individual things to. That could be a cool set piece. Just like
that
a kind
would
of.
be really cool.
It would be nice to have that sort of build up, and
Yeah,
it would make the quiet of the tower even creepier. You arrive at this tower and there is just nothing, and there's just a person on a bed, and that's it. And that's after having this massive event of lots of monsters and noise and flashing lights and stuff. Suddenly,
that
quiet and creepy.
Because the Rum person could just bring a load of the Guardians with them from like the King, because he could have just been like, "Yep, I'm taking these now," and then you've got a load of them fighting with you. Of course, as you got people doing stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of quiet and creepy,
The turrets that they get in Rom, that would be quite cool. Them just throwing down turrets, and you've got to, I don't know, help defend certain bits and everything. All that, they're nice safe zones and everything like that.
And you could incorporate that into the randomness, couldn't you? You can have like, because maybe like there are multiple ways of solving each individual problem, and like in Rom you could have the sort of stone golem guardian things fighting the monsters at the end, if that's what you stumble upon. But if instead you stumble upon something else, then that gets used in the final, and thus this sort of final encounter
depends, like,
brings together all the things you
recruiting sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and certain things that, so you could end up like with no one pretty much, but there would always be an option of you could fight them or you could try to recruit them, like the bandits. If you find blooming Mudtooth beforehand and you talk to the bandits, they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, we'll join you in trying saving Earth." Then you've got a bunch of random people with you, and someone doesn't accidentally shoot them.
Yeah, that's all. Yes. Dark.
For the Yashis thing, they could, like, for the song thing, could be someone who has talked to the wolf a lot, you know, because the wolf the wolf seems to know like everything because they know fully about the route and all that. They just don't see a point in trying to stop it. So it could be they be someone who's spoken with the wolf and knows how to deal with them. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I really like this idea of just like all these different people, and you can like there is a randomness to it. Also because that implies that you can like just come along the dog friends and recruit them, and you
Yeah.
can just have a lot of dogs.
Like, do you remember that guy? I think it was on ROM. There was a guy who's sitting in a room and he's like, "Shh, don't wake the dogs. They get angry."
Yeah,
Yeah,
You can recruit him. Why not?
now you have dogs.
yeah, that could be an interesting thing. As opposed to you get the boss fight with the things, it would be you either try and recruit him and the dogs, or you fight him and the dogs, and then you've got the core for the guardians, and you're just like, well, you're coming with me now. So that.
So yeah, it depends on what path you get. Depends on what ends up being recruited for the end sort of encounter.
It also just like makes it more interest. Like you can have like if you go like a more pacifist route of like not killing people, you actually get some return.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you end up getting a lot of support, but if you go with the route of I'm just gonna kill everyone, you get super powerful because of it. But the final fight ends up possibly being a lot harder because it's just you and maybe like one or two other people that have to be there.
I do like that idea. The trade-off of are you going to go in as an individual strong person or as a weaker but well-connected sort of, you know,
Group.
yeah, group. We, you know, not as strong with friends or big old strong loner killing everything boy. Don't know why I specified boy.
And then that will
I was
like
thinking of the
impact
dogs.
the final fight.
Thinking of like just a massive dog. Which is weird because I've had 3 dogs in my past and only one of them's been a boy. It's just the phrase "good boy." The internet has smeared my mind with the phrase
Yeah.
"good boy." All dogs are good boys. Also, Frame Man is just why nothing's happening.
I noticed it's just a mess.
Nothing's going on. We've dropped 2,500 frames. That was worse than when I did Sekiro. What's happening? Calming down? You annoyed? Do you want to be in this story, Frame Man? Do you want us to write you in? I think you'd fit into ROM somewhere, some sort of weird abandoned technological enclave.
Yeah, that seems like a place that a Fireman would be.
Well, he reacted. I'm not sure whether it was a negative reaction. Drop 1 frame for yes, 2 for no. Well, that's about 150.
Very yes.
That's very no.
Yeah, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Is this turning into a bit of a conspiracy board? Sorry, conspiracy
fine.
board. Sorry. Yeah, I like the idea. I think yeah. There's also like the gangs on Earth. Because sometimes you arrive at that place where there's like the gang and the person's like, "Oh, what are you doing in my territory? I'm going to kill you now." Or, "No, you're all right. You can go on."
Yeah.
Maybe you could help them or get them to help you by doing something for them.
Yeah. Yeah. He's kind of annoying that pretty much the only humans you fight are hostile. You find like what, 3 good humans on all of Earth, and one potentially neutral guy.
I don't know why when you said good humans, was it your tone of voice? It just made me feel like you were talking about like, finding ripe fruit. It's like there's only a few good humans. The rest of them, they're not ready yet. Was that just me? That's probably just me.
Maybe the ripest of humans.
Ripe. If anyone describes me as ripe, I'm not staying in their company. Oobs knows a lot about this. Okay, I like that. I like that as a structure, that you're sort of building. You have this goal in mind, and everywhere you go, you are building towards that goal. So it's not just like, I need to get here. Oh, I have to do this instead to get here. Okay, that's fine. I've done that. Now I'm here, and I need to get to the next place. Oh no, I need to do something to do that. I need to unlock that door. I need to get this thing for this person. Rather than just being a bunch of things to distract you as to why you were going there in the first place. These things actually build towards, you're here for the reason of trying to get through that door. You're trying to get into that tower. You're trying to find Ford. They're the two things you're trying to do, and both of them can be materially felt by going back and making a bit of progress. And then by the end of it, you've amassed all of these sort of allies or enemies, or these powers, all these sort of physical or metaphorical keys, and they allow you to, in a big bugger off event with lots of monsters and things, you manage to break your way through, and then finally you're where you wanted to be, and it's all weird.
It'd be fun if, like, after each... Well, it wouldn't necessarily work if you do, like, the one strong person strategy, but, like, after each planet you went to, you see, like, a person from that world showing up in the ward, just as, like, an extra physical reminder of, like, hey, I went there, and I did a thing.
Well, like once you've made that sort of connection, if there are people there who legitimately do want to, particularly if you're going for the kind of pacifist route of recruiting people, then you'd want to have, like, sort of not exactly ambassadors, but connections of some description. Oh, don't worry, Oobs, I was just referencing... I said something that was vaguely cannibalistic, and I was referencing Hannibal.
You just see, like, Wood and his dog show up, and they're just there.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, why not? He wants to sell some stuff. It's a whole new market.
Yeah. Apparently there's this whole other world out there.
Yeah, finding the traders and bringing them back would be good. Especially that lady on Yesha. I want to save her before she gets horribly murdered.
Yeah.
Wait, who was that?
The trader who gets killed by the fruit thing on Yesha.
Yeah, maybe there's a quest you can do, and maybe you save her, maybe you don't. You get some sort of reward for not doing it, but you get the fact that she's still alive and comes back to the thing for actually saving her and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like you can
thing, if not, I'd just die.
You can set up a system whereby, and I think this is kind of interesting. You can set up a system whereby the strengths of the strengths of your character by the end of the game are dependent on your actions in the game, not purely just in terms of what levels you choose, but also how you decide to interact with the world. So it's like, maybe your strengths are that you have, in the simplest of terms, you've killed a lot of things, you've beaten all these monsters, and you've done all that sort of stuff, so you're uber mega strong. Or your strengths are that you sort of you listened to people and you had sort of sympathies and solved their problems, and by the end you have people who are supporting you and stuff like that. So it's like you can solve all these problems in different ways, and they give you different rewards, and those rewards reflect on your character and your choices that you made beyond just what your build is. It's purely... Am I getting too RPG in this?
No, I really like
Pretty
it.
much already happened in the game.
I mean...
There's a lot of multiple ways to defeat things, but multiple rewards is already a thing.
And I'm not talking about multiple rewards. I'm talking about sort of like, I don't know. Just trying to explain, like with this sort of, with this trader, maybe like they sort of, you can just head on try and solve the problem by attacking the thing that's attack them or whatever, or you can actually talk to her and listen to what she's saying, and then you can work out actually there's this other problem that's causing this, and if you solve that, then she survives, and it all sort of works out. So, depending on whether you take the time to listen or whether you just rush in head first, that's what determines your reward.
Yeah.
Something like that. Is that an oboe? Yes, it is. It's not a flute.
No, it's a flute.
No,
It's a flute.
it's not a flute.
It is.
Also, this game has no references to flutes whatsoever, just to avoid confrontation.
All the people from Asia play flutes.
But what about the flutist? Or flautist,
Yeah.
however you pronounce it. What's he gonna do? You kill Chris.
Oh, I'm just writing, sorry.
Fort dead?
For dead twist. I don't know how far behind the stream is now after Frame Man having a bit of a tizzy.
I have no clue.
But put it this way: you're listening to me in voice, which is near real
Yeah.
time. I'm gonna draw a smiley face now. That's how far behind everything is gonna be.
Okay. There's a
Um,
smiley face.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
A couple of seconds.
That's all right. Does that say moist? Does it? Well, moist, twist. Oh, I can. Yeah, like moist. Yeah, I can see that. No,
Kind of.
it's
Oh,
twist.
Yeah. For dead moist.
There's a bit of a kind of ambigram going on there, but Ford is dead and moist. He's on Mars. Who would have thought?
No.
I don't know why. Whenever I'm on stream and I'm doing something like this, I write in all caps. I don't write all caps anywhere else.
It's important.
all my notes around me, they're all in, like, capitalized with lowercase and stuff. It's weird. Okay. So we have an idea for the basic structure. What remains that really annoys us outside of flutes? Like, okay, what's happening? What's happening with the Undying King? That's a bit of a waste, isn't it?
Yeah. Why
And
is the Undying King so lame?
Why is the Undying King so lame? That was the thing. Also, I'd just like to point out, Dark, you earlier today you left the Discord room that we did Remnant in before, and I decided to scroll up because you reminded me that it was a thing. And apparently we played this in January, and there was a message on there like, "Oh, I'm free now to do this Remnant, rewrite thing whenever," and that was in March. So we've been saying we should do this stream for 4 months.
That seems right.
That's not on me.
Look.
Oh.
One of these
We're
days I'm gonna
doing
be
it
able.
now, it's fine.
Okay, so Undying King needs more because he's just nothing at the minute.
It's yeah.
You get no payoff.
I do
Giving
like
him the heart.
Chibi's description of the one thing I knew about this person turns out to be not true. So, it turns out to be a
What about
rumor.
him like bathing in the essence of
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That's the one thing I remembered, and then I looked it up on the wiki, and it's a rumor. It's not
Yeah,
even
it's just
true.
a rumor. He doesn't do it. He goes in some weird nutrient bath sort of thing. I think he wants the heart so he doesn't have to do that anymore. But
He wants the
doesn't-
heart because the Guardian of
oh yeah, he's
Rome
gonna
is
recreate the
dying,
Guardian. That's his reason.
and
That's
he
something
bathes
that would have been cool
with
to
the
actually see
Guardian?
and take part of.
Wait, doesn't he want to bring back the Guardian or something? Like something's gone wrong with the Guardian of his planet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he
Guardian
also-
is dying, so he wants the heart so he can
Guardian's
essentially
dead.
revive the Guardian.
Yeah, Guardian is
Yeah.
dead, so he wants to recreate the Guardian, probably under his control, so he can actually like bring life back to the planet.
And also, he gets his immortality because he bathes in the Guardian's past?
Yeah.
Question mark. He baits with the Guardian, and that's why he's immortal.
Oh.
He has a special rubber duck.
Which, if
Also
he brought
rubber
back
duck
the
the
Guardian
Guardian.
and like linked with it, he wouldn't need to anymore. He could just be immortal again with no worries. I think the
Yeah.
Guardian was probably killed by like the root, and then he just kind of
Yeah.
got the corpse and mushed it up into the gloop and bathes in it.
Guardian gloop.
Yeah. So yeah. So that needs more filling out. Like I don't know. His intentions are good, but he's such a jerk.
His whole vibe seems like he's bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what to make of the king after the time. Yeah, his intentions, because he generally wants to save his planet, which is a good thing, but he wants to doom a different planet to do it, which is a bad thing. And just the way he like treats all his followers and everything, and the way he's like pretty much portrayed as a god, makes me think he wouldn't really help people beyond just making his world lively again, would he?
No, he just wants a bigger
No.
bath.
Yeah, yeah, he's such
What he
an
needs is an architect, then.
he's just such an all over the place character, because he's like, yeah, he'd save the planet and stuff, but would it actually be a good thing?
Thank you for giving him lightsabers.
That's alright. I was reminded of General Grievous as I was drawing him.
General Kenobi. With a duck.
I also like the idea that he's got this thing on his head and it's not supposed to be there. He was just trying to wrap his hair up, but he can't do it.
Never learned how to.
Nah, it's just, I'll just stick it on there. It's fine.
So yeah, so Undying King it ends up with more. I don't know. Do we help him with the Guardian? Is that actually a thing?
Maybe this ties into it. Maybe it's like this ties into the whole choice thing as to how this whole thing ends. You know, do we get the assistance of the Undying King, or do we get the assistance of the thing that, you know, he wants us to kill in some way? And maybe it backfires. Maybe the Undying King is literally not a trustworthy person, and we're like, oh, we've done your thing, and he's like, okay, you can have the key, and I'll help you when the time comes, and then he just doesn't because he's an ass.
Yeah, that could be a thing. And then when you go to confront him and try to get the aid, he's just like, oh, by the way, I've done this, and then there's just an even worse boss fight.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, because he now has the strength of the Guardian.
Yeah, he's just like, I lied. I didn't want to remake the Guardian. I am now the Guardian. And then you've got to fight a massive, like, fight where the terrain and everything is shifting because he now has control of the planet to some extent, but he's not fully powered up yet.
That would be so cool. And it seems to fit so well with his character, or with his vibe at least.
Near unlimited power! Yeah. And then there's the option of... Because I think the Guardian and Shkel would just fight you regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have to be a thing, because it would look at you and be like, no, 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 no. I know who you've talked to. I'm not... No. Go away. I'll kill you, because the person you want to give the heart to is bad, and I know this.
You stink of both the Iskall Queen and the Undying King, and I don't like neither of them.
Yeah, say, because if you give the heart to the Iskall Queen, that would be a turn. You give the heart to the Iskall Queen, and she goes, yeah, I'll help you. And she does. She sends, like, a massive force to help in the end fight. But it then turns into, like, this just massive free-for-all where you've got to fight the Queen's minions and the Dreamer at the same time, because she's trying to use the Dreamer to, like, control the root.
I feel like both of them would try and make the sort of the chaos of what you're trying to do turn to their advantage in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neither of them is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely something the Iskall Queen would do.
There's the secret third option of just killing them both and getting on with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
killing them both, taking the heart, and just using it for other purposes on Earth. Make a guardian for the Earth, and then have that as the fight instead.
Mm. And then that
Earth has a
backfires,
guardian
and you
now,
found
do
the
we need
secret.
it? No.
And that backfires. You've made a massive monster, and you found the secret Omega boss.
That would be interesting.
No
the
matter
kid-
what, you have to fight a boss. That's
make-
very, very tough.
You make the guardian, it doesn't work the way you intended, and the poor kid's just like, I can't control this. You'll have to just kill it. Like, oh god damn it.
You either fight the Undying King, or you fight the Iskall Queen, or you fight the Earth's new guardian. Those are your three options.
And then the Labyrinth Guardian finally decides to get off his throne and go, give me the heart, fine, I'll use this to get more powerful instead and help you. Just goes away, like, oh. And then he actually helps, like, in the fight. By, I don't know, he teleports a bunch of enemies away to somewhere random. And that's his aid. He's like, nope, there you go. He just takes half the enemies out of the fight. Like, there you go. I helped.
There's a duck and lightsabers. You have a good eye, Oops.
Yep. Got Rubber Duck, Undying Grievous.
So, are we bringing Rizium into this continuity or not?
Are we what?
It's like really like Rizium, you know, the ice place. 'Cause it's
Oh,
a really
yeah.
cool place.
More Fogland, please. Just gonna put that out there.
Yes.
More
Yeah.
fog.
More
You're right.
biomes on Earth would be cool because a whole area that is just the foggy hillbilly rootlands would be cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think other than like more Fogland, the DLC is kind of like fine? It's mostly self-contained.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's quite. I think the DLC is kind of where they fix most of the issues. Because the ward you go through to first, like, to break all the little bits and bobs and open up the gate, it nicely leads you from place to place. There's always, like, a goal. And even
Yeah,
in
it's-
Rizium, it's pretty nice. 'cause
It's
of how it's set up.
smaller.
Yeah, because Rizium, you get in there and it's the Dreamer Girl, and you see big old stone friend, and like, what was
Yeah,
that?
what
And then
was-
you meet Master Giant guy randomly, and he's like, oh yes. That
What
way,
was
go
any
that
of
way."
that? Can someone explain what literally any of that was?
Okay, so what the Rizium bit or the ward bit before?
I'm pretty sure I said literally any of that.
Okay, so
I
the
think I do
Foglands
kind
are-
of get the ward bit, to be fair. It's
Yeah.
the Rizium stuff.
Well, yeah. So you've got the fog bit, which is cool and everything, and there's a chance a lot of information about it, but that's incredibly rare. And then the ward bit, and that the ward bit explains itself, and the experiments and Doctor. I can't remember his name.
Arsgard?
Asgard, yes, Asgard. The dragon person, family dragon person.
Parthenax.
But yeah, Rizium is just. Yeah, you meet a girl, she's a dreamer. You don't know she's a dreamer at that point, and she's connected to the Guardian.
Oh, is she? Oh, okay.
That's what the big stone friend is. He's the Guardian of the planet, and she's connected with him. That's why she can walk around
Right.
in like pretty much, like all the cold and near Arctic conditions, wearing just kind of a poncho of fur because she's connected to the Guardian, so she doesn't feel the cold. That is
Look,
literally.
you say that as if that's not a problem I just didn't think about because I assumed the dev team didn't bother thinking about it. Like this
I
is
mean,
the,
that's fair.
It is weirdly something that is thought about.
it isn't like now it's a bit like we were talking the other day in Final Fantasy VIII that it's like, oh, the reason that Jesse McCree Irvine chokes during the sniper mission is actually because he's the only one that remembers that the sorceress is the adoptive mother, sort of thing. But the game never actually gives you any reason to think it's clever enough to have said that. And it's just something you can suppose in your own time, but the game doesn't actually, And it's the same thing here. Like I don't think at this point I've lost faith in the self-analytic ability of the game story writers for me to actually consider thinking that that's a thing that they would have made in any way conspicuous.
Well, it's a thing regardless. So yes, you meet her. I think roots appear at that point out the portal, and she goes, "No, back with you," and they all disappear. And then she just wanders off. She runs off, and you don't even try to chase her. You're just like, "Okay, cool. What?"
Yeah, it's not a weird thing for characters to be underdressed for cold weather.
And you find the giant bloke, and he's just there, and he says, "He's over that way," and you can talk to him more, and he's like, "Oh yes, my people are the giants, and there used to be a lot of us, but then the little rat people were hunting us for sport, so we kind of just move around a bit now. I don't play any more part in the story. I'm just a cool set piece, I guess."
Solution. I have a solution.
I've got horns. I've gotten a reason for horns. Go that way, and you find her.
Maybe it's an annoying solution, but it is nonetheless a solution. Oobs just said it's not a weird thing for characters to be underdressed for cold weather in a game, so it doesn't ping as something odd when playing. Maybe one of the mechanics of this part of the DLC is just, hey, the heavier your armor, the thicker your armor, the less susceptible you are to cold. Maybe there is like a frostbite mechanic that slowly builds up over time as you're running through, and you have to get to warm areas to sort of warm back up. Maybe that could be enough to keep in your mind, oh, this person's running around with basically no clothes on and they're not suffering ill effects. What, why am I? Why are they not? It's just enough, like a gameplay reason for you to think that's significant.
That could be a thing, yeah.
You get like a full winter coat from someone that you can pull over your armor.
And maybe they explicitly say, hey, this maybe they do spell it out and say, you need to wear thick weather in this environment because you're not used to. You don't come from here, so you haven't evolved the thick fur to stay warm.
Or you need to hopefully find one of the merchants, and they're like, oh, here's the anti-frostbite potion. Like, cool. I can drink this. I'm cool. Sort of thing. But yeah, then you fight Unseen and Smough. And then there's that. You find her and the root attacks with the random lasers from space that's not explained in any way, and I don't understand. Which she stops. And then the weird little shooting gallery bit, which is also not explained, and just kind of there for no reason.
Okay, hang on. Here's my something I always quite like doing, particularly when it comes to my own writing, but it's good for analysing other people's as well. Whenever you come across something that feels a little idiosyncratic, ask yourself, if this got just taken out, just that, if that got taken out of the story, what else would be affected? Because if the answer's nothing, why is it there? And that's what I was thinking about the giant, because I remember when we came across the giant, I just found this so weird and out of place, and I was like, why are you, what's going on? And it's like, oh, we're giants, we were here before, but now we're not. And it's like, well, why did I need to know that then? If it's not a thing I'm ever going to encounter again, and I haven't encountered up till this point, this could have just been a person.
Yeah, I get the feeling in the environment before, if we'd seen a giant skull with the horns just on one of their buildings,
yeah, just something like that,
then it would make more sense and have some context.
But at the same time, why would
they hunt your people?
But at the same time, why would they even need to still be alive? Why couldn't that person have been a book? What would be lost with that, apart from the visual of a big person?
Or just another friendly ratman.
Yeah,
we've already established We've already established there are friendly ones. It could have just been a friendly ratman.
Yeah, try and flesh out the things that are already there, rather than adding things that don't add anything. More stuff does not make a bigger world; it just makes confusion.
It feels a lot like in every. Or in almost every world, they want to have two kinds of people that are fighting against each other. Because that's
That's
a thing in Rome, I believe, and it's definitely a thing in Geisha.
that's a
And in
perfectly good
courses,
thing.
that's the whole thing. Like, they are all being taken over by the Isco.
That's a perfectly good thing, but like as you say, in Courses, that affects what's going on as you go through. You can see it. You
Yeah.
can see it all happening. It's part of the story of that place. Does it? Did the DLC need that? Like, would you
No.
have found it jarring? Were you never to have met the second people? Like,
No, not
No, because
really.
they're not even mentioned in any of the books or stuff.
see again, this is if you can take something out without it affecting anything else, ask yourself why it's there.
Yeah, so it could have just been a Ratman. It could have been either the Ratman that you constantly find the journals and like prophecies from, or one of their disciples.
Yeah.
They could have been that person. They're just like, oh, you. Hello. She went that way.
That's basically what it is.
I-
It's just a signpost, really. A signpost with some lore scribbled on the back.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or someone to explain, or the Ratman to explain why all of the Ratmen aren't killing this random human person because they know she's connected to the Guardian. Also, that's a thing, yeah. She's connected to the Guardian. I don't know if you picked up on this.
Like, we're going to find out in
We've-
5 minutes' time that she's connected to the Guardian. Did we need someone else to explain that?
Well, like half an hour.
There's nothing. Yeah, but was there anything that happened in between with that character and the Guardian that would have necessitated that introduction? That would have necessitated the idea of this is the thing that's going to happen, rather than just us seeing that firsthand. You know, was there anything that they did that would be like, oh, this is ambiguous, why are they choosing to do this, but would be explained if you're like, oh, I know, that's because they're in league with the Guardian, or something like that. There's no point introducing something if the very next thing that happens is another introduction of the same thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
it's just more of the same, and then you randomly fight the Warlord.
It-
Well, not
it-
randomly, but like you have to fight him. But
It's like writing a prologue to a short story. It's like, why? Like, it makes sense if you've got a novel and you're setting up a lot of characters and there's going somewhere and things are going to develop. But if it's all over in one cutscene, did you really need another proto cutscene before that?
Dark, I have a question because I'm blanking at the moment.
yes,
What are the NPCs on courses? I know the Iskall Queen and I know the Graveyard Elf, even though I've never met the Graveyard Elf.
okay.
Are there
So
any others?
we are so base game, just the Queen. That is it.
Ah,
That's why they released the Courses DLC. In the DLC, there is the last elf, who you can turn into a group leaf, the Queen. Which, you know, if you just needed any more prompt that she is evil as hell, there you go. And the other guy is a really big infected Iskall, which I've only met like once. I think those are the only ones.
Yeah, I think the idea
just
of that is you get the remnants, if you pardon the expression, of people writing about, oh, this whole thing's taking over. You know, you've got the little bits that are left of the people that have been sort of subsumed by this.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get that, but I was thinking along the lines of like, because in the other places you kind of have these NPCs you can find, and according to our new main plot line, that you could potentially recruit, and then there is courses.
Yeah. There's just the elf, and yeah. Although
Yeah.
the Iskall guy, you need to have a parasite to even interact with, or he just fights you.
Yeah.
Same with the Queen, actually. Like, if you meet her in the DLC, if you give him the heart, she gives you, the key thing for the random crystals and like monoliths around the place. Otherwise, she just fights you. If you've got the parasite, she'll talk with you.
Because
Yeah.
then, who could you potentially recruit from that place.
The elf would be
Good.
the only one, and that
Yeah.
would kind of that would be because she is a herbalist and stuff. She doesn't actually have to cure the iskal of the parasite.
There could be like maybe for the longest time we're like, oh, there's just this one survivor, as it were, and you know they don't sort of mention anything of that. Oh, okay, I could help where possible, and so on and so forth. But eventually you find out actually this person has been sort of hiding away a small sort of colony of people who have been sort of keeping themselves safe from this sort of oncoming plague, as it were. Then you're like, oh, okay, we can actually do something here. We can rebuild a society. Come, come back to the ward. We can give you sanctuary.
Yeah. I was thinking,
but
like, maybe you can, like, offer, like, you can either, like, do what the Escal Queen wants you to do and, like, parasite the elf, or you can ask her to come to the ward. And from the ward, she can actually, like, cure people because she is not constantly in danger because she's in the ward.
Yeah.
So from there, she can, like, actually help people.
Yeah. And then there's the butcher for some random reason.
I don't know what his deal is.
You need a boss. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm not gonna question the butcher. I think he's like just there. He just lives there and nobody bothers with him.
I want a where you find like a friendly butcher person and they come and help you out. You have to do a really long convoluted thing in order to get him on side. But he will like help out in the final fight.
It takes 4 extra hours of gameplay.
there's the butcher who's a big means, and then you've got the salad chef, who turns out to be really nice.
I'm just now imagining like this giant like butcher like figure sitting in the middle of the ward. Yeah.
What you've got to do is you've got to go to even more planets and like bring him exotic plants and stuff so he can make all these dishes and then he'll come help you.
He's just like, I've heard of this particular spice from Rom.
But if you do all of that, he sells like the best consumable in the game.
Tom from the sandwich shop is a must-have team member. Yeah.
One ever. You can only ever buy one, which you will never use because you'll think, maybe I'll need this later.
Too good to use.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like a thing of it. The item is super good, but it's only like effective for 10 minutes.
Or maybe they use it like maybe it is effective for 30 seconds, but you sort of realize that it's supposed to be used in that brief window during the final boss when they're vulnerable. And if you just use it during that moment, and you're like, scoff down the sandwich, the boss opens up, shoot it once, and then it's gone. And it's like, brilliant. We trivialized the final boss. And if you use it at any other time, you get like, 5% faster stamina regen. That's what I'd do. Also, final boss. That's probably something we should talk about. It's not really story per se. But...
No. I don't really know what to say about the final boss.
What I think we should have, because at the moment, all we've talked about, all that we have talked about, sorry, I don't want to make it sound like we've restricted ourselves to just this, but the things that we've been focusing on, that's what I mean, have been getting to the tower and getting into the tower. once we're there, should we have set something up to be satisfying? Like,
Probably.
because
Yeah.
I remember that was my big takeaway from the final boss, apart from the fact that mechanically it was just a mess.
Yeah, the mechanic is just you bang your head against the wall until you finally go, oh, you shoot the guys in the thing, you don't just right straight out. Oh,
Yeah, but it was just
okay.
but it was just it felt very gamey that did. But even just from a standpoint of like what's happening, like I understood, hey, there's a connection to the dreamers. It's nice that came back. Quite what was going on with like, you know, Quetzalcoatl sort of weird nightmare bird. I'm not entirely sure. The what's the one from Final Fantasy X? I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It just sort of felt like I don't know, came out of nowhere. Like if it was, it felt like they could have been one of those things where it was like this thing called nightmare. Maybe it can reach into your mind and make you fight corrupted versions of things you've seen, or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been a much more interesting thing. Because if we've got the allies and stuff, if a couple of them get brought in to the fight, it can just do something where all of your friends appear like enemies,
Hmm.
and you could just end up killing them accidentally. And if you like die and everyone gets kicked out, they're just not there for the second like attempt.
Hey, we have congratulations everyone. We've passed 10,000 dropped frames. Yay!
Jesus Christ.
Flute solo.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. My connection today is just awful. Don't know why. It's on my end. I'm not sure what it is. It's not a computer thing. It's a
sandwich shop is a must-have.
I mean,
network.
my Discord keeps like fucking up. We all have technical issues.
Yeah.
Dark's microphone is too powerful. Causes all it.
I even turned down I've got the YouTube videos of the Remnant OST in the background. I even turned those down to 144p just to reduce bandwidth where possible. To celebrate, let's drop more frames. There's 200 more.
Yeah.
6% of this stream has gone missing.
Yeah, who is doing all the frames? Who's the most viewed person? I blame them.
Well, more dropped when you were saying that, so I don't know whether to be more or less suspicious of you.
Give them back.
So yeah, maybe tying in the final confrontation to, I mean, anything you've seen before would be nice. The idea of fighting a dreamer, that makes sense, right? And the idea that a dreamer is connected to the root and that's all a thing. But the actual sort of the form of the destructor, if you will, is, yeah, it just felt a little strange. Darkest Frame Man confirmed. Miss Bandark. Where's Miss Bandark?
Miss is gone.
I'll fight you with my green sword.
She was consumed by the frames.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes, I mean, you've got them just jumping around with the tentacle thing at the start, which is fine. I guess that makes sense.
Can't believe
given they are, I suppose. But yeah, then it just kind of getting hugged by the giant bird thing. It's kind of just like, what?
Suddenly, bird.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like a root monster or anything.
Yeah, that might be a thing. Hey, maybe make the thing that's connected to the root look like the root. That'd be great.
Yeah, because
even if like a dream root, like not a physical one, but it's sort of like it's got the same sort of stuff, but with those psychedelic colors or whatever.
Harsgard and Blimmin Rizium, he's a root. He's a big old root thing. He's very obviously that, but yeah, the dream is just kind of there. If
They're
it
just
looked
a
like
bird.
a dragon, that would make sense. I know how it's supposed to look like a dragon because he's full forward with it, but yeah, it would more tie in with everything else. He's just a bird. I'm gonna look at a picture of the dream of the nightmare. He does just look like a Final Fantasy boss.
Hello, just dreamer. Good. Thumbs up.
Yeah, there is just nothing rooty about. Okay, he has, to his credit, like the thing that covers the dreamer, and he's got some things by its head, and its head looks like a root, and that is it.
Do you know what I just thought of?
It kind of looks like a
What?
butterfly.
What did you just think of?
Hang on.
I'm hanging on.
If I'm right, this is incredibly embarrassing.
It's just a big butterfly. That's all it is. It's a butterfly with like a beetle head.
Yeah, it's the
Kind
wrong one. Hang on.
Kind of reminds me of the butterflies from Dark Souls 3,
Yeah, a little bit. Pilgrim butterflies.
but with actual wings and bits, not just stuff.
Well, that's the DLC, isn't it? The angel ones.
Mm. I'm
Okay.
not trying to think of anything else that looks like the dreamer final form, and the only thing I can think of is like the guardian bug, but that's only because they have wings.
Maybe.
Guardian bug?
Yeah, the
Ixalis, the guardian thing with the spear.
the one you get the heart from on Bug Planet.
Well, wait, actually.
Oh, right, yeah. Twin butterflies, yeah.
They do actually look quite similar now that you mention it.
Oop, hang on.
Chris, what's going on?
Sorry, I was trying to find a reference for the thing in my head.
And?
I mean, in as much as they're both based on bugs, there's not like a standout bit of design that makes me go, ah, that's a connection. It's just they both happen to be sort of butterfly-ish.
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah, the connection I was trying to find, I can't find a good picture of it, unfortunately, but it reminds me of the villain of Sonic Forces, if you've ever played or watched that game.
I'm sorry, what?
There's a villain of Sonic Forces is called Infinite, and they have these sort of like weird technological psychedelic transformations that they do, and that looks like one of them. It looks like it could have been something from Sonic Forces. This is what I was. This is why I'm incredulous about this design. It really has that sort of feel because it like transports you to this like red cyber world where things are all glitchy and weird, and that's what the last place feels like. It's Remnant shouldn't feel like Sonic Forces. This is what I'm trying to get across here.
That's a fair
Sonic
complaint.
Forces is a bad game.
I'm saying they should be as distinct as possible in my mind.
That's fair.
Yeah, I can't find a good reference for what I'm thinking of. But if you look up gameplay of like a boss fight in Sonic Forces, it's got that feel. What else? What else is there that we need to sort out? Sounds like you're just bitter of having played Sonic Forces. I didn't play Sonic Forces. I watched the Let's Play. That said, I think I do actually own Sonic Forces because I think it was free on Epic at some point. So I could do a Let's Play.
It does look pretty cool though. compared to like most Sonic things, which is just Sonic but slightly different.
Yeah.
Kinda. A lot of the Sonic villains start getting less and less Sonic-y as time goes on.
That's not as bad.
I mean, most of my gripes with the game story have been solved. It's we've made NPCs more important, and Ford is dead, and
Many times over.
the Undying King isn't so lame anymore. So you know.
Oh no,
The
Sonic
three
Mania.
most important bits of the game.
This does feel like kind of like we've set up an architecture in which we can go, hey, let's go and design some cool NPCs for this game that should have been in it, but weren't. You don't know about Sonic games, but you heard most of them are bad. That's reasonable. Sonic Forces is apparently all right, but it does have the final boss for Remnant in it. So.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. So there's 30 NPCs, and 2 of them, well, 4 of those are shops. So you've only actually got 1, 2,
They're not shopkeepers,
3.
they're shops.
I know, I suppose 5 because you've got rigs. Yeah, you got armor and weapons man. You've got
My best
general
friend's a
shop
hot dog stand.
and scrap merchant. You've got web upgrade person. You've got general shop.
They got
Root
squeaky
Beer,
wheels.
same shop.
I remember an NPC I have a gripe with,
So
Ooh.
1, 2, 3.
and that is the random guy from the ward that just joins you in the first 5 minutes of the
Bo.
DLC,
Who comes
and then
along
fucks
and
off.
then just disappears. So,
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Oh, I remember another one.
Yeah.
There's another one. First, before you even set foot on ROM, someone prostrates themselves in front of you and goes, "Oh, the walk of the traveler from other lands," and then they tell you about the world, and then you're like, "Oh, who are you? Doesn't
And
matter.
then
You'll
they
never
fuck
see
off
me
as
again."
well.
I could have been a book. I think that's going to be the new dialogue replacement mod that I do for Remnant. I could have been a book.
But yeah, that's an NPC I have a gripe with, because he is just there for 5 minutes, and then I don't know why he's there. To demonstrate other people can use the glowy thing? I don't know.
Yeah, so five from the shops. 14 of them are random encounters, so you might never meet them. And all of the others are one-shot encounters, pretty much, where you learn everything about them. One of the random ones is a dog. So
Some dev's cousin is trying to make it in voice acting. That feels right. That feels.
oh yeah,
It's...
and sorry, there is another vendor who doesn't speak.
Oh well, that's the missed opportunity there. The cousin didn't turn up during the gig, but they still wanted to be paid. They still got the credit.
Yeah, there's you
There's
talk
a vendor
before-
that doesn't speak.
Yes, Whispers, the guy who does all the.
Oh, the guy from which you get your
Yeah,
funky
the
costumes.
guy who
Yeah.
Borderlands.
writes on his little chalkboard. Yeah, that guy.
I do like the idea of sort of a vendor who has a little chalkboard.
Yeah,
It's kinda
that's
cute.
a cool idea, but
I should give him a chalkboard.
yeah, like Ford only has one set of dialogue. It doesn't change at all. Wallace only has one set of dialogue. Bo only has one set of dialogue. The Keeper is just one set of dialogue. The only people who've got like changing dialogue is like the Queen and the King, and that's it. Everyone else kind of says everything they can the first time, and they're done. So that's the thing.
I like this list that you're making, Chris.
Yeah.
Just the first point, frustration lady.
Well, I don't know their names. She prostrates herself in front of us and then she buggers off.
Yeah.
So
No, it's fair, but it's
she doesn't have an entry in the wiki. Come to think of
There
it,
we go.
looking through.
she
I
is
bet-
so not
Otherwise,
important.
it'd be 31.
I bet thermal geodes have an entry in the wiki. I bet she's less important than thermal geodes. Who's Labyrinthmum? Labyrinthman. Although Labyrinthmum sounds like a flower, which would be, I can imagine, would be quite nice.
Yeah,
got-
yeah, it's a thing because they're
got kind of
they're
spirally
they're a
swirly
boss
pattern.
thingy. So yeah, there you go. She's less important than the thermal geodes because they are a boss item.
This is Labyrinthman.
Labyrinth
Person.
Man is the yeah.
There's. Do you know what? I watch Red Letter Media, and they do a lot of they do a thing called Best of the Worst, where they watch terrible, terrible old films. And occasionally in these old films, you will find a famous actor who was sort of hired to do the film, but they clearly don't want to be there, and they're quite old and jaded at that point because they can't find work. And often you will see them in a scene, and they'll just be sitting down for the entire scene because they didn't want to do anything else. And I feel like that's what's going on with the Labyrinthman. He was hired to do something, and he's like, I don't want to do anything. Can I just sit down for this whole scene? I don't want any action. I'm here for the paycheck. Let's just get this over with. And it's like I feel like that's most of the NPCs in this game. So let's just get this over with. I'm here for a contractual obligation.
Yeah, so if you just look at the keepers thing, it's just got example dialogue lines, quest progression, optional dialogue. It's not even filled out. No one could even be bothered.
I'm like trying to go through the game in my mind, and I'm just like, what was the thing with the tree? Because you found that cult guy from who you get the mask, and if you get the mask, you can get a thing from the tree. But what was the whole thing with the tree? Was it just a tree?
It was a root tree. That's about it. Wait, what's it called? I think it's evil tree is what it's officially called.
Because it's like when you get out of a thing, you can't like not see the tree.
It's so conspicuous,
it's
right?
not like, yeah, it looks like an important thing, but then it like isn't.
Because I got it on my first playthrough, and I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. I don't know what this is. And then I was like, I'm going to come back to this because there's like a shortcut next to it. And just, nothing. Just...
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
like...
need the mask to get the thing.
Yeah, but that's it, and that seems kind of weird.
I mean, I'm up for there being unique events that you may or may not get. I'm fine with that. But I do feel like if you don't get that event, you should at least get another one. You know? And
yeah, it's...
You know, not
the
everything...
tree is nothing if you don't get the weird cult guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think I did.
the cult guy with the mask, not the other weird cult guy.
Yeah, we have to specify.
Yeah, otherwise it just does evil tree speech. Oh no, sorry, incoherent tree speech.
Yeah.
Don't start forest fires.
Okay, so reading through what I can say, because for some reason it never does that properly in the game. It goes, tough and cautious, a gift then to better serve, go drag, we watch. So, I think it sees the mask, sees us the cultist, says us that we're not worthy, and then gives us a gift and keeps watching. That's about it. It just gives us, like,
Riveting!
yeah. So, it
Yeah.
sees us as the cultist and then just gives us a gift because it doesn't think we're worthy.
Can we make the tree a bigger thing? It looks so important. I'm just upset by it not actually being anything.
Yeah, the fact that you need a mask to even understand it.
Like, it's either... Because it's not a boss fight either if you don't have the mask or... Like,
Yeah, you
it's
can just
just
ignore it
there.
and just not fight it. And it gives you bark skin, so it literally just infuses you with the power of the root. Like, yeah, that could be so much more.
Just more.
Just more. I'm trying to think what you could do with it. Like, even if it was like a thing that like it says sort of really cryptic things that turn out to sort of, you know, if you'll pardon the expression, bear fruit. Maybe. Would this be a bit of a cheat? Would this be a bit? I don't know. I was gonna say maybe it sort of tells you the things that you've randomly generated to be in your game. And this is, but it sort of refers to them in sort of really cryptic language. So at first you don't know what it is, but if you've played the game for a bunch of times and you find the tree, you're like, oh, I can talk to this and I know what's going to come up.
That'd be interesting.
Because it's presumably connected to the root, so it has knowledge of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be fun, and then you'd have, like, another reason to, like, get the mask from the cult guy.
Yeah, add in to the RNG, if tree spawn, then cult guy spawn. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Make that occur.
Yeah, because the tree without the cult guy is just nothing. It's a set piece.
It's a thing that goes. Blah, blah, blah. At least the tree in that one.
You can kill it to get a really good necklace, but yeah.
At least the tree in that one platform game was an actual bitch. I found the other day. I found the this. Hang on. Where did I put it? Here it is. Boom. I still have it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I forgot it.
You should keep things close that spark joy, and this sparks joy. You stand by that. I agree. Yeah, cryptic references to future. Random events. Yeah, at this point we're not even touching the story. We're just going, hey, how can we make this game better?
I mean, we've touched upon the story enough, I think.
Oh yeah,
there
yeah.
isn't a story now.
Yeah, things connect.
I do like the idea of the tree kind of just giving hints about what you're gonna fight, like events and stuff, so you can sort of plan ahead, like if you know everything or no.
I feel like that's the sort of thing that would really annoy speedrunners. They're trying to play the game, random seed. Oh, we got the tree, and oh, we're gonna have that boss. Oh, we're gonna. Is it worth spending time talking to the tree? It speaks so slowly.
Yeah, so the tree and you'd have to speak to it like it would have a random amount of knowledge, so you never even know how much it's gonna say.
Yeah, it's just like, is it gonna be worth it to talk to the tree? But also, can I afford not talking to the tree in case I get this event or boss that takes up a lot of time?
Within a week, it'll become known as the reset tree.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Are there any other things like that that just...
I still like. Have we actually talked about what on earth the keeper should do? I feel like the keeper should be more important, right? Either more important or removed.
Either the keeper... Yeah, exactly. Either the keeper shouldn't be there, it should just be a teleporter to the place,
Oh, not teleport, please.
or not a portal to the place.
Hey.
It's the only place that works with teleporter, anyways. Why? Everything else is portals.
Like, also that area with the labyrinth, I feel like that was like, oh, we've got a lot of ideas for things we could do in this strange abstract. I don't even know why it's called the labyrinth. It's pretty straightforward, but I feel like they had a lot of ideas for that. But they had to cut a lot of it for development time.
Yeah,
Like, it feels like a place.
It feels like the labyrinth should have
so-
led to a whole lot of more places. Like,
Yeah.
It does, but yeah, it was until the update and like courses and stuff, because yeah, there are like extra bits in the labyrinth. Because if the pillars thing, if you light all of them up, you get teleported to an actual labyrinth bit where you have to try and unlock this puzzle to get the, I think, abyss armor or whatever it is, the void armor.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Nah, me
Yeah.
I
neither.
didn't even know there would be anything if you went back there.
Yeah, you have to unlock all of the things, which is, you know, a random thing, and then they'll teleport you to that place, I think, once. And if you don't manage to get all of the armor, you have to do all again.
Yeah.
For me, the labyrinth is like very much
But yeah, it's actually a
just
labyrinth. 'cause
the
it's a lot
room
of
before
weird
Rom.
bits.
The labyrinth is like a hub in a game with teleportation, thus
Yeah.
eliminating the need for a hub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can just teleport straight
Yeah.
from one place to another, why do you need the place that connects them all together? Particularly given that you don't actually get from Rom to Courses through that necessarily. Like,
No, exactly, because you get through two courses through the portals from the Undying King.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
it's just
can unlock the closest one in the labyrinth, but you don't need to.
so it's like the labyrinth is kind of worse than useless in as much as everything else does what the labyrinth does better.
Yeah. I think the keeper could do with, like, when you're teleporting around after like completing something important, just he teleports you to the chamber and gives you some info and hints and stuff, and then you just disappear again. That could be his role. He gives you extra hints
I mean,
and information.
Could
Or
he
if
just
if you've missed something, he'll point out that you might want to go back.
could he have just teleported you to Rom? Was the actual labyrinth necessary? Why isn't he just in a tower? And he can teleport you to Rom.
The law reason is he's trying to focus on doing his thing.
What
What's
wonderful
his
law!
thing?
That is it.
Okay. Again, what is lost by removing
Okay.
that?
Yeah, then like we eat like. Why do we need to keep, or why can't we just take a teleporter straight to the labyrinth?
I guess
I'm saying get rid of the labyrinth
that.
altogether. Just take a teleport straight to
Yeah.
Rom.
Just
He's really focusing on
Yeah.
himself right now, and I'm proud of him for that. But he doesn't need to be in the game doing that.
yeah, I think it would be fun to have like a game section with like the mechanic that's in the labyrinth, aka like the disappearing like stairs and such and floor. Just as a gameplay section, but like in a tower, and then you see a portal to Rome or something, or
Yeah.
I think.
And maybe that can
keeping-
come back in the tower at the end.
Yeah, I think keeping the labyrinth as just a thing for the portals would be fine if, like, yeah, you had to fight off the route every once in a while from there and make use of all the weird disappearing stuff and everything.
I think one of the weird
show
things
more
about the
mechanical
labyrinth. One of the weird things about the labyrinth for me is that it is A, intensely straightforward, and B, surprisingly small. Like, there's nowhere to go. Like, I get the idea that it's like a path is being made for you as you're going, so that you're just being taken exactly where you need to go, but theoretically you could go infinitely many ways in this weird void of floating rocks. But functionally that just makes it quite a sort of oddly cramped place. I don't know. I think they were going for a kind of. No, I don't want to say that. That's spoilers for the next draw through.
I get the feeling that when they made the labyrinth, they intended to make more DLC and tack on more.
It feels like it feels unfinished.
Yeah.
It's it's annoying because there are plenty of things in the game that aren't particularly good and then I forget about. The reason I remember the labyrinth is because I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool, and it wasn't. And that's it, in a sense, is a good sign because it's a good idea. There's something there. It just wasn't. Could have been, but wasn't.
So what do we do with it? Just remove it?
I mean,
for our version of the game.
Maybe there could be an optional area where you sort of, I don't know, where maybe this is the place where there is the lore. You find out about the lore. There's like a big library sort of area, and you're sort of running around reading books in this void. So you can go out your way to do that if you want.
But you don't have to.
Yeah. And it can
and
patch
will.
And maybe that can help patch the holes in the random generation. Some things that are important to the plot that don't get randomly generated into the world can just pop up in the labyrinth. So you can always keep track of everything. And a Minotaur,
around, and just like when you go back to the labyrinth one time, there will suddenly just be an extra bit with random books and shelves and I don't know, a dead researcher or something, and suddenly like, oh, here's more information. Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
bits and bobs of lore just kind of pop in and out as it's as it feels like it.
I mean, the labyrinth keeper would have to like make a suggestion to that to like information is always like appearing here or something, like the more you know, the more information you get, because I've never felt like there was a reason to go back to the labyrinth.
No.
You like, Dark, you said there's like this whole thing with an armor you can get. But like, I've never even thought about the labyrinth being a place I wanted to return to, because in my, like, I never thought there was something else there but like the portal to
the funny thing with that is that you don't even go to the main labyrinth, you go to a random offshoot of it.
Yeah, it's just as Chibi said before, it's the ROM anti-room. That's what it is. It's the lobby to ROM.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So like, if there was like, if the idea is that like there is lore there, and the more you discover, the more lore there like appears, then there would like have to be like an actual reference that the Guardian makes or whatever, because otherwise there is just nothing I would return for.
Yeah, maybe you need to go there. Maybe there is a piece of information that you really need to know about how to activate the door or something. And you're like, oh, we're a bit of a loose end. Oh, there was this keeper who knows a little bit more. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the atmosphere. It's the labyrinth set.
Mm.
That's where you find the last piece of information that only Ford knew. But also it's in the labyrinth, and now you found Ford, and now the information is there.
Yeah, it turns out you didn't even need Ford. You know, we replaced him with a book, literally.
We found this body, so now we know about Ford, and now the information is in the labyrinth archive. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe his memories are sort of uploaded to the labyrinth.
Yeah, because he's been in touch with the labyrinth man before, so
yeah.
when he actually died, but weird things happened with his memory, or whatever.
And maybe you only get bits. You don't get quite everything, but you get enough that you can go, okay. And we still haven't really discussed what this is, but
No, but that's fine.
we're just trying to give this game a structure. Like, we don't need details. It's all right. This is.
No.
Do you know what?
We have details for all of it.
We're making the anti-Remnant. Remnant is all detail, no structure. This is all structure, no detail.
Yeah,
Remnant
kind
has
of.
so many details with no structure to put it around. It's just
Yeah.
facts floating in soup. It's just
I mean,
nothing connects.
that's why we don't have that many details, because the details are there,
Yeah.
or a lot of them at least.
Yeah. It's like, all the notes are there. We just need to put them in the right order.
Like, you'd have to tweak some bits to like actually fit our structure and story, but like the lore about the world is all there. You can figure out that the Escald Queen is bad through reading the notes, or like talking to the graveyard elf.
Or, doing what she says and then seeing that the consequences of you doing that aren't great.
Exactly, and like similar things about like the Undying King, because like his creatures are constantly attacking you. That should be kind of a hint. Like the rumor about him bathing in like the essence of his enemies or whatever. Like, it's not true, but like it's not based on nothing. It's like if he was truly good, there wouldn't be a rumor about that.
Yeah. The facts are wrong, but the reason the rumors exist, that's still genuine.
Yeah.
The impetus behind the false rumor is real, even if the rumor is not.
Exactly. Like, the details are all kind of there. The people are all kind of there. We just like gave them like actual importance, actually.
Yeah, we got a box with 1,000 jumbled up jigsaw pieces, and we just got to work out ways of connecting them.
Yeah, exactly.
Emphasis on ways, because this is not a simply solvable jigsaw piece, and we do have a hammer.
It's a jigsaw puzzle with like 3,000 pieces, and we have a hammer.
Yeah.
And a saw.
We have a hammer, a saw, and patience for a 100-piece puzzle. Some of these pieces are getting turned into books, goddammit. I.e., they're going to be turned into edges. With our saw, they will become new edges for the jigsaw.
It's like smashing a Rubik's Cube to solve it.
Yeah, no, you peel off the stickers, it's great. I think there's something there.
I mean, like, yeah. I think we've covered, like, most of the things.
Yeah.
I don't...
Now we just need to turn it into a mod.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything more that, like, really bothers me. About the game or any of the NPCs or whatever.
For me, it was forward and giving the game purpose. What on earth's going on with the labyrinth?
I mean, I guess we haven't really talked about Asia a lot. Like, the fuck is going on there?
I mean, that I guess that sort of ties into the whole sort of idea of us going to these places to get things that we need to solve our problem, and that connects to the whole sort of the thing with them having knowledge from being immortal or whatever it is, and having these songs and these powers and all that sort of stuff. That's the sort of I think, our starting point for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was thinking like NPC wise, you have the flautist and the people. He's playing a flute.
Nope.
Um,
He's officially called the flautist.
He's officially wrong.
it's his name.
He's living a lie.
It's ironic.
Yes, you have.
But you
yeah,
have
the
the
flautist, you
flautist
have
and
Lavin and
the rebellion people, essentially, and the merchant that killed.
are the
Yeah.
only NPCs.
You have the brief
Like-
conversation after the siege, right?
Yeah, that's what the rebellion, rebellion
Yeah,
going on.
And she mentions the immortal
Civil
queens, like
War.
bringing them all down, and the tree of life died and stuff, and now they're holding the fruit, the peaches of eternity and stuff. So that could be a thing, because that's kind of just mentioned, and then you just find Ford in a cell in some random rundown place.
I mean, I guess like if we go with like this whole like music leading to knowledge, whatever thing, then I guess the flautist, his legal name, the flautist, is the most important NPC from that area all of a sudden.
What would you call
Yeah.
what would you call him? The reedist? I don't know. The instrument's called an aulus. Like,
I mean, the merchant sells the golden plums, which give you like eternal life.
Yeah, I mean, the merchant is obviously coming to the ward, but like, I like the idea of like most of the merchants like eventually landing up in the ward. If you go like the NPC helping route, at least. But like, I don't know.
sorry, my brain
I don't
just
know where I was going with this thought.
look. The thought that came into my head was the sentence, "My milkshake brings all the plums to the ward," and that's I don't know why.
Milkshake brings all the plums to the yard.
Ward.
Damn right, they're shinier than yours.
Damn right, it's better than Ford. Well, we've got a new theme song for the game.
That just plays when you boot up the game, and then it has like a harsh cut to the cutscene of you in the boat.
You're damn right, it's better than Ford.
I think you should play the first time you meet the merchant, the next time you like boot up the game. No context.
They're just humming it to
acts normal.
themselves. Yeah, my milkshake brings all the- Oh, hello!
Or that could appear on like a radio that randomly just
Isn't it like because it's like an evolving sort of aleatoric thing? The opening music on the main menu is like 7 hours long or something like that. Like on hour 5.5, that just starts.
Oh, if you bring that merchant to the ward, then the ward like radio plays that song.
Yeah.
That's it.
The song's also random. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Bless your playthrough. If you listen to it all the way through, you get a buff.
Get a buff or you get like a mod that lets you summon a peach. Or plum or whatever it was.
At least I now know what to call this VOD. Damn right, it's better than Ford.
Oh.
If you stay too long in the wood, you save the NPC, it starts playing. Yeah, it's great. Easter eggs, love it. Easter plums. And on that note, so that could have gone one of two ways. When that popped into my head, I was like, should I say this? Because there's at least a 50% chance that the two of you will just go, really? But I'm glad it was the other. I'm glad it was the other. Yeah, thanks for ripping this game apart and giving it a new skeleton.
We rewrote the game. It's decent now.
It's passable.
It has a story.
C-. There
was a low bar, and we crossed it.
We have given the game meaningful progression.
Hey, the mechanics in all day, they're fine, except for maybe the end boss fight.
Hmm.
They'll just add chunk loads of stuff on it to make it better.
I mean, even then, if you telegraphed that, if there was like a few mini bosses through the game that had the same sort of thing, that wouldn't be too bad. But I don't know. Anyway, I usually like gimmick bosses, but for some reason that just
Because it was based on nothing.
Yeah, it was based on nothing. It was based.
People I know have needed to consult the wiki to figure out how to beat it. It's just not obvious. We accidentally did it like the first time, me and she, by killing stuff in the thing. But then we didn't really notice it. We didn't notice it. We just thought it was part of the thing, and then it just didn't happen again. It was like, why are we doing this wrong? What's going on?
Yeah, I think I had the same thing. I killed a few enemies in the thing, thinking, oh, okay, well, this is like a little enemy rush sort of thing, and then I saw the portal. I was like, oh, we gotta leave, and now, oh, it opened up. I'm doing more damage, and then I was like, oh, well, just rush for the portal the second time. Why am I not doing damage now?
They have fixed it because you now get a very visible buff to show that something has happened.
Yeah, when I played, there was like a tiny little icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, or whatever
made
it was.
Much larger, it like indicating, and then it starts, I think, flashing when you get halfway or longer. So, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've made it easier to figure out on your own.
Yeah, I feel like if it was just a thing of like, you know, there were maybe a couple of other bosses that have like additional bosses by them, and as you kill the small ones, you start doing more damage to the big one. And it's like, oh, this theme can carry through. Yeah. I don't know. Also, what is the actual? Like, are you getting more powerful, or is it getting more vulnerable? I don't even know what the mechanic is in World that is causing that to happen.
It gets more vulnerable.
It gets more vulnerable. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Why? Where are these enemies?
Yeah, I think the idea is you get teleported to just another place, and the enemies are because you fight bosses that you've already encountered from the route. I think it's like trying to use what you fought before against you, sort of thing.
I feel like
I think that's the idea.
Psychologically speaking, I think a lot of the problems also come from the fact that the enemies that you fight that allow you to hurt the boss are in a completely different location to the boss. So why would you think the two are connected? You are teleported somewhere completely different.
Yeah, especially when it starts throwing women actual bosses at you, and you think, what? Why?
Also, because like in game, it's been so long since you've like actually beaten any of those bosses / mini bosses.
Yeah.
It's been so long since you've wandered around on Earth and beaten all these people.
It's like, you know, they've reached into your memories to fight things, and it's like, you could have, you know, got more recent memories or something. If you got any further back, we'd be fighting a boat. Like,
that would have been more interesting if you fought like the route, and then you fought enemies from Rom, and then you fought enemies from bosses, and just going through.
Or maybe if it went backwards. And then you fought something really weird that you don't know what it is, but you presume it was from before the start of the game. And then that might have, you know, revealed something about your character. I don't know. Ideas.
Yeah, they could have just reused some of the assets from courses and thrown them in, because there's some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, maybe. Also, Oops is doing good draws.
Oops is always doing good draws.
That is true. I did just say something that is true the vast majority of the time.
Turns out Oops is just amazing at art.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
But yeah,
it should probably be a law against
genuine
that,
draw.
but in a campaign, I think it's unfair. Needs to be the redistribution of talent. Never mind that you put the effort in. Shut the hell my mouth. That's an acceptable suggestion. So thank you for coming to this. I was about to say wonderful mess of a stream, but I kind of think it made more sense than Remnant. So I'll look forward.
Immediately when you said mess of a stream, it started going very pixely and laggy for me.
Wonderful. And Ford turned up, which is great.
It was destiny.
It was destiny. I said horrible mess of a game and he turned up. You haven't drawn anything that looks like something a month? I'm pretty sure you did recently, didn't you? You did some good draws.
Yeah. Oops has done good draws. I've seen good draws of you this month. Or last month.
Actually, yes. Scrolling up, it was about this time last month. The last time I saw good draws. But regardless, more. See, 2 things. How dare?
Not like you don't have to draw finished things.
Those shadows. Like finished things. Who cares about finished things?
Yeah.
I'm making finished things all the time, and they're terrible.
I really like your sketchier things. They have so much motion and life to them.
That is the great advantage of doing all these really cool sketchy things, is that you get a chance to iterate and learn and get this sort of movement and life and all that. If you focus purely on finishing things, you don't. I speak from experience. Is that from Lego? What's going on? Is that a Lego monster?
That's from Cronus. Like that's the enemy.
It's Lego. That's Lego. That's. I'm gonna go back to the stream just to show that this is Lego.
God, that looks so lame.
I know it does look like a Bionicle. There's a different one.
This is from Lego Star Wars, Old Republic. Like.
Yeah. That does. No, it doesn't look like it belongs in the same world as Remnant.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
That looks more like it belongs in the world of Remnant.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. Why does he have paddles? Yeah, look, we interrupted him in personal time.
The second one feels more Remnant-y.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep flipping back.
A bit weird and naturey and glowy and.
Yeah, there's some sort of weird mystical thing going on that's sort of animating something that shouldn't be. Sorry, by scrolling this down, I've seen the video accompanying the Remnant OST, and it's somebody playing in ROM, but they're not actually playing. There's just somebody chasing them around a table, and they keep ducking behind it in time with the music. It's like, okay, sure. Could have just put a still image, you know.
Oh, that's a tree.
Yep, tree's back.
Tree. That's just a picture of a tree. I'm not going to show that.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, they are technically they reskinned models of the snake people, the snake thingies, but just with no skin.
Oh.
Oh, the
Oh, okay.
The chorus. That's what they're called? The chorus from Skyrim. Okay. We have dropped 22,000 frames. That's probably a good time to stop. Apologies that you didn't get 8.5% of this stream. I'll be back on Saturday. Like that. With some Sekiro.
Saturday Sekiro.
Sekiro, Return to Monkey.
You doing okay, Chris?
Nope. My brain has died twice. So, more Sekiro on Saturday. Will there be a chip stream tomorrow?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because I can't stream because
Well,
I don't have a laptop. But I will probably do another podcasty
podcast
improvisation thingy in Discord.
Another 24-hour chip podcast. How long will this one last?
So,
Who knows?
Tune in for that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, bring your favorite childhood comics. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, Saturday Sekiro. Friday Patreon hangout stuff. Sunday, I guess, wikis. I have nothing good to add.
Sunday
wikis. If you didn't have work? Question mark? What? Who?
I don't know.
I'm confused. Although that doesn't really,
narrow it down.
Yeah, it's not a particular. It's saying that I am confused is about as, specifying of the situation as saying that Oobs is drawing something really good. Oh, you'd be tuning into the podcast. Oh, I see. Your brain's just not happening right now. Neither's mine. There's no light of mine. So.
This is the second time this one popped out in the last 5 minutes.
It needs to remind you that it exists. It exists purely through you thinking of it.
It lives in my... Oh god, it's like the game.
The what? The who?
Like if you think... The game, like if you think of the game, then you've lost the game.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I'm trying to think of a way of spinning that to be like Remnant. If you start thinking about the game, it's already won. Like, maybe it wanted us to do this. Maybe Remnant wanted us to rewrite it, because the more we think about it, the stronger it becomes. Ah, the scalene triangle. I need to actually stop now. Thank you. Thank you, Chip and Dark, for helping me. I say helping me. This was a group effort. I was not in charge by any stretch of the imagination.
Forced you into this. It's okay.
Yeah, it only took 4 months. We should now play this, and then go through complaining about everything. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for chipping in chat and trying to pay some sort of attention to the nonsense we've been spouting. Yeah, I'll be back on Saturday. I feel like there should be something else, but there just isn't. This is when I need that oomph that I had the Sunday before last, where I was just like, end stream, but it's not happening.
Just say bye and end the stream. Bye.
Bye and cut to music. That works. Bye.